What's going on, guys? Aaron here with NAP Transport, part-time YouTuber, full-time trucker, overtime buffoon. So, in today's video, I'm going to give you a little breakdown with examples, numbers. I did all the math for you. Today, we're going to go over how to calculate IFTA and how to fuel your truck. So, hopefully this helps a lot of people out there. It's probably going to be a long one, so stay tuned. Alright guys, so here we go. So this video, we're going to go over calculating IFTA. I've got a whole page here written down. But first, I want to tell you, this video is sponsored by Your Car's Extended Warranty. We've been trying to reach you. For more information, please just hang up the phone. Alright, now that we got a little joke out of the way, let's get into the nitty-gritty. So for this example, we're going to be taking a trip, a semi-trip, and we are picking up in Manhattan, and we are delivering in Seattle. So from Manhattan to Seattle, according to the IFTA calculator, which I only used for mileage because, well, reasons we'll go into later, we are driving 2,951 miles, and I did get a breakdown by state. So in New York, we will travel 28 miles, and I'll put all of these numbers right here for you. In New York, we're traveling 28 miles. In New Jersey, we're traveling 58 miles. Pennsylvania, 336 miles. Ohio, 256 miles. Indiana, 157 miles. Illinois, 198 miles. Iowa, 304 miles. South Dakota, 481 miles. Wyoming, 209 miles. Montana, 552 miles. Idaho, 74 miles. And Washington, 298 miles. Now, again, it's not necessarily the route I would take. I'd probably, in Illinois, I'd probably jump up through Wisconsin and run 90 just straight across. And then take the Highway 212 out of Belforche, South Dakota, kind of diagonal up to 90 in Montana. But the way this looks is you're going to basically run 80/90, or well, you're going to run 80 all the way across through Iowa, and it looks like, based on this, you're going to jump up 29 to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, then run 90 across. I'm obviously, like I said, I'm just going off of this itself, and I have it broken down. So we're going to average everything on 7 miles per gallon. As an average, we'll just say it's 7 miles per gallon. That's what a lot of the newer trucks are getting now, so we'll just kind of go with that. So in the state of New York, you will use 4 gallons. In New Jersey, you will use 8.29 gallons. In Pennsylvania, you will use 48 gallons. In Ohio, 36.57 gallons. Indiana, 22.43. Illinois, 28.29 gallons. Iowa, 43.43. South Dakota, 68.71. Wyoming, 29.86. Montana, 78.86. Idaho, 10.57. And Washington, 42.57 gallons. So, basically, what IFTA, the International Fuel Tax Agreement, is it states whether you buy fuel or not, you have to pay fuel tax on to each state. You have to pay a fuel tax to each state, and each state can set their own fuel tax. So these numbers will all be based off of third quarter 2021, which right now, New York's IFTA 38.65 cents, New Jersey 57.7, Pennsylvania 74.1 cents per gallon, Ohio 47 cents, Indiana 53 cents, Illinois 58.1 cents, Iowa 32.5 cents, South Dakota 28 cents, Wyoming 24 cents, Montana 29.55 cents, Idaho 32 cents, and Washington 49.4 cents. Again, all of these are per gallon, not per mile, thankfully. I don't know that any of us could really afford to pay that per mile. Sorry, guys. So, with that, for driving through each state, you will owe each state based on the miles you drove on your average fuel economy, which you basically take by calculating how many miles you drove divided by how many gallons of fuel you purchased, and you'll have your average. I just made it 7. Seems about right. I know some of you guys with them pretty trucks are probably only getting 5. Some of you guys might be pushing closer to 10. It just all depends. But I figured a cross-country trip where you go over some mountains and stuff like that, 7's a decent average. So with that, in New York, you will owe $1.55 in IFTA. New Jersey, you will owe $4.78. Pennsylvania, you will owe $35.57. Ohio, you will owe $17.19. Indiana, you'll owe $11.89. Illinois, $16.44. Iowa, $14.12. South Dakota, $19.24. Wyoming, $7.17. Montana, $23.30. Idaho, $3.38. And Washington, $21.03. So that brings us to a total for this one trip. And we'll just say this is a week. It's almost 3,000 miles. It's close enough to a week's running for a solo driver. That comes out to needing to purchase 421.58 gallons and paying an IFTA tax of $175.66 for 1 week. Now, for those of you guys new to the owner-operator game, or those of you guys who are watching who don't know the first thing about trucking, this is for all of you guys. The best part about this is all of this can be negated. So what they do is they put the tax on the fuel at the pump. So say you put in 100 gallons in Pennsylvania, you've paid 74.1 cents per gallon for 100 gallons, so you've paid $74 toward that. All of that is factored in, and so I have 2 different options as far as driving, or as far as fueling. Now for both of these, I'm going to base the raw fuel price, because we're just not going to matter where we go. The raw fuel price after discounts, not including IFTA, anything like that. Alright, so the raw fuel price will be $3 a gallon just across the board, which means in Pennsylvania you'll be paying $3.74.1. Ohio you'll be paying $3.47 a gallon, etc. So I did all of that math as well, and I added the numbers back in to find out what you're going to be paying and how paying a little bit more actually might help you in the long run, depending on how you fuel your truck. So with both of these options, we are starting with half a tank of fuel, and I based this on the standard dual 100-gallon tanks, so 200 gallons total of fuel. That's how I based it. Figure keep everything uniform, so that way you can't say, well, it's different for me because I have 300 gallons. Either way, it'll end up the same. We'll just say that you start off with 100 gallons in your tank leaving Manhattan, and this for both of these options. So option 1, you drive out to Barkeyville, Pennsylvania. Now I just used the major truck stops: TA, Petro, Pilot, Flying J, Loves, Sap Brothers, Town Pump, Quick Trip. I just basically kind of went with where one of those is, because of course we know Jim Bob's Truck Plaza is going to be a heck of a lot cheaper. So Barkeyville, Pennsylvania, you've used up a bit. It takes 150 gallons to fill you up. You're going to pay $561.15, but of that, $111.15 will go into IFTA. So again, that's $3, but I added the 74.1 cents. So you're paying $374.1 at the pump, but of course $111.15 of that $561 is going to IFTA. Say you drive a little ways down the road and you want to fuel in a higher IFTA state. So you stop in Atkinson, Illinois, which is over there by the Iowa border, and you get 80 gallons to top you off, because that's all you've used from Barkeyville to Atkinson. You're going to spend $286.48, but $46.48 of that is going to IFTA again, because you paid 58.1 cents per gallon for IFTA. Then you do a bit of driving. You drive all the way to South Dakota. You put in 120 gallons, which is going to cost $393.60, and $33.60 of that goes to IFTA. So you finish, you fuel there, you drive all the way out to Washington. You're going to cut it a little close, and you want to keep somewhere about a half tank in when you deliver. I don't know, I'm relatively uniform here. So you stop in Spokane and you get 80 gallons of fuel. You pay $279.52, of which $39.52 is IFTA. So for this fueling run, you've purchased 430 gallons. Now you needed 421.58. They're 421 and a half gallons. You put in 430. Hey, sometimes just like nice round numbers. But you spent $1,520.75, of which $230.75 of that was to IFTA, which means your total, dropped my phone almost. Your total will be $1,290 without IFTA. So $1,290. Actually, let me write that down. That is one number I did not write down. That was just something I figured out on my head here. So $1,290 is your raw fuel price. Oh, come on, pen. Raw. Okay. So, with that, like I said, you spent $230.75 at the pump for IFTA, okay, or for fuel tax. Remember, you only owed $175.66 for this trip. That leaves you in the positive $55.09. So you'll get a refund. Now, they do it quarterly, so everything's reconciled quarterly. But let's just say you've only had one run for the quarter. This is all you've done. You just started, whatever. you'll get back $55.09. But that's a week. Let me pull up this calculator here. Let's just say you can do that every week, but you take 2 weeks off, so we're just going to multiply it by 50. That means you'll get a rebate of $2,754.50 in a year. So, actually, I'm going to write that down because that's also something I want to add. 2,754.50. All right. So, that's that one. You get the $55 rebate on that. Option 2, you start off with half a tank, but you want to fuel, say, where it's cheaper at the pump. Because we're going off of base $3 a gallon raw, it's going to be cheaper at the pump in states that have low IFTA. We're just going to keep it nice and easy that way. States, the raw fuel is usually relatively comparable. Out west it's more, that kind of stuff, but we'll just keep it even across the board. So you stop in Roxbury, New Jersey, and you get 107 gallons to top you off. You've paid $382.74. And $61.74 of that was IFTA. You get from there, and you just want to run it down, run down to about a quarter tank and fill up. That's how you want to run it. So you get to Newton, Iowa, which, remember, is only 32.5 cents per gallon. You put in 148 gallons to top off. You spent $492.10, of which $48.10 goes to IFTA. You drive. You go all the way out to Laurel, Montana. You fill up again. You got 140 gallons out of that. $461.37, of which $41.37 is IFTA. And we'll just say that because fuel's cheaper in Montana, you go out toward the edge of Montana just to get you into Seattle, so you put in 50 gallons in Missoula, Montana. That'll cost you $164.78, of which $14.78 goes to IFTA. The reason that I chose 50 gallons on that, all right, is for those of you that don't know, a lot of these places with rewards for drivers give you a free shower or a free drink or something like that at 50 gallons. So it just makes it nice and round, and most drivers won't get less than 50 gallons unless it's just a splash and top off. But you bought 445 gallons with that. You could have made it from Laurel to Seattle. You'd have been about a quarter tank on that at 7 miles per gallon. So I just put a splash in just so we can keep it somewhere close to that half tank you started with. And so your total that you have spent was $1,500.99, of which $165.99 went to IFTA. Now if we extract that, that's $1,335 you spent in raw fuel, which makes sense. It makes sense because you bought more fuel. You bought an extra 15 gallons. It makes sense. But if you remember from option 1, you spent $1,520.75 at the pump. But in option 2, where you got more fuel, you got an extra 15 gallons, you spent $1,500.99 for a $19.76 difference. So you paid less at the pump for 15 more gallons. So why wouldn't you do that? Well, here's why. I said you paid $165.99 into IFTA, but you owed $175.66, which leaves you with a balance of $967 to pay. So again, say this is your only load of the quarter, you will then have to pay IFTA $9.67. Because you still owe the tax for the states you went through. So you multiply that times the 50 weeks. I mean, it doesn't seem like much, but that's $483.50 a year that you will owe. Let me write that down. $483.50. And you take that out of the $2754.50. So that's a difference of $3,238 a year. So $3,238 a year for a lot of drivers out here is a couple of weeks' pay. Heck, for some drivers it might be a month's pay that you are saving, just that you can put right back into your business. I mean, what could your business do with an extra $3,000 a year? That's almost a set of tires for the truck. You know, that's 10 oil changes, maybe 9, depending on how you do them. You know, repair work, that $3,200 is a lot of money. That's a difference. So rather than paying $483, you're getting $2754. So in a nutshell, that's basically how IFTA works, and why you should always pay attention to the raw price. Here where I'm at Prime, and at Prime we get fuel discounts, so it's best for us to always look at where fuel is the cheapest after discount. They don't show us the IFTA, so we might see that we're paying $2.90 a gallon. Well, that's after our discount and not including IFTA. So because IFTA is going to be reconciled anyway, you're going to want to just pay the lowest raw price you can find. And that's the vast majority of times. Unless, it's just a splash here and there. That's really the only times that you're going to not really worry as much. But, like for me, I try to always fuel in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania being one of the highest IFTA states. It might be the highest. I forget what California was. But if it's not highest, it's second highest. So I try to always fill up in Pennsylvania just to get, to cover some IFTA there, because otherwise I'm going to owe it, and I don't really want to pay 74.1 cents per gallon. So yeah, that's basically how IFTA works in a nutshell. I highly encourage you guys to keep track of this. Now, here at Prime, I'm going to go into this spiel here. Prime keeps, I believe it's either 2 or 2.5 cents out of your settlement, and they reconcile monthly. So what they do is they go and they look at what you paid, and if that 2 cents is supposed to cover any possible shortage for people who owe $9.67 on that trip, it's supposed to kind of cover that, so they don't have to take anything further out of your settlement. But many times we actually do get that reimbursed. I think my last one I got $190 some reimbursed to me. So yeah, just keep an eye on your IFTA. Fuel is our biggest cost out here. No matter whether you're with Prime, Swift, on your own authority, Landstar, any of that, fuel is going to be your biggest cost. As you see right there, pump price $1,520.75 for that one. That's definitely more than my truck payment, and that was just for a week. So if you can keep your net fuel costs down, you'll be set. So until next time, guys, look past all of the junk in life, because everything's beautiful. Be safe out there, take care of your business, and let it take care of you. Have a good night, everybody.